Hello everyone, welcome back to Explore China, Tanso Zhongguo, and in this video we will be talking about Marco Polo and about this book here, which is called The Wonders of the World and His Travel to the Court of Kublai Khan. And I read this book with a lot of enthusiasm and I thought it's so interesting that I want to make a video about this. And Marco Polo currently now in China is also known as Marco Polo, his Chinese name, and I think there exists a sausage brand which creates sausages. And yeah, so there's this very popular debate about if Marco Polo really has been to China or if all of the things are just imagined or copy pasted from other sources. But whether or not he has been to China, it's a very interesting topic to talk about and to see what he wrote. And it's not him who wrote this book, but it is a fellow inmate. He, after his time at the in Katai, which he called China, northern China, at the Khan's place, after returning, after 17 years staying there, after returning back to Italy, to Genua, he was imprisoned. And in prison, he told all his stories to Rustichello, and Rustichello is the guy who wrote this book. So it's important that Marco Polo had himself no notes about it. He tells everything out of his mind. And this all happened in the end of the 13th century. And after coming back from China, which he is not saying this is China or this is the Mongols Empire, he is always referring to this place as the Tatars, Tatars Empire. And I will focus only on what he is telling about China. I will not tell in detail what he's mentioning about Middle Asia or Africa or India, because this channel is all about China. So we'll look if the things about China are correct, and you might then think, okay, he probably really has been to China or not. And at the start, some things which he does not mention is like the Chinese language. There's actually a thing which you could see very easily, that all the characters, but he's not talking about this in his book. And he's also not mentioning tea, for instance. But what he mentions is, for instance, the New Year's festival is always in February, in spring. And what he also says is that they have 12 years, a 12-year cycle, and each year they have its own symbol. And these are these shi sheng xiao in Chinese. And further, he also mentions that they have this tradition that if in some family the young child, let's say a boy of 4, he dies, and in another family close by their daughter, the young girl, also died, and then they set up a wedding contract between these two dead persons and they burn it. And they believe when they burn it, in heaven the two died children, they will become a married couple. And they also burn a lot of paper where they wrote a lot of maybe some other persons, or they paint some money and they burn it. And you can see still in China and in Southeast Asia, many families have this tradition in burning paper, credit cards, paper shoes and stuff, because they think that their ancestors or died relatives in heaven, they will make use of all these burnt things, and they really get it. And these are just a few interesting things which Marco Polo talks about. I can't tell you all of it, but it's very interesting, such as this story. This goes that he mentions that there is one city, Suzhou, which is the city of earth, and another city, Hangzhou, which is the city of the sky. I couldn't really find such definitions of a city of the sky and the earth in China, but there's definitely this saying which says Shang you Tianchang, Xia you Su Hang, which means in the heaven you have paradise, and on earth you have Suzhou and Hangzhou. Besides that, he's also talking about that in China, in Mangi, so northern China, and Mangi, southern China, and Katai, northern China. This is the names how Marco Polo refers to China during this time, under the Mongols, under the Yuan Chao, during the Yuan dynasty. And he says all people believe into two gods, in the god of the sky and in the god of earth. And he says that each household, inside the house, they have the names of the gods written either on the wall or on the ground. And yeah, it might be some Tiandi and Tushan or 2D, but I'm also not sure about this. And if you know anything about this or have some information, yeah, please share it with us and write it into the comments. This would be really a benefit to all of us. And then there's a very interesting, funny and weird tradition he's telling us about the persons in Tibet. He says that in Tibet there are girls which wear many necklaces, and they wear these necklaces because they get it as a gift after spending the night with a man. So in Tibet, he writes that the persons there, they believe that the men only want to marry women which have slept with many people. So a woman will only get attractive and desired if she wears many necklaces. Yeah, I think this is kind of a weird tradition he's mentioning here. And further about let's stay at this topic about girls. He's saying that in China, in Katai, you have that the girls are very well behaved, and they're very respect, such as also the young adults, they respect the elderly and would never talk in the presence of older persons. This kind of also shows that Marco Polo is referring to the xiaoshun, or to the filial piety, which means the respect for the elderly. And he says that girls, they most of the time they stay inside a woman's room. So inside the house they have their own room, and I think personally that Marco Polo with this, he could refer to the gui. So it's like men with this gui, or this two character inside. But I'm also not very sure about this, but it would make sense if he referred to this one here. Yes, and he also says that the girls in Hangzhou are the prettiest and angel-like. The last story I want to tell you is about the Brahmins in India, and Marco Polo says that they have this custom that they go to the beach to poop, and then they pick up a stick of wood and spread their poop along the beach in the sand. And you might ask yourself, oh, why do they do this weird thing? And he says they do it due to the fact that in the poop there could evolve some worms, and the worms, they will eat the poop. But if the sun is shining up on the poop will dry, and eventually the worms will die. And because the Brahmins live a lifestyle that they will cause as less as possible harm to other living beings, so they also want to prevent this dying of these worms. So I think this is a really funny small story. And another one would be that Marco Polo is talking about two islands which are just at the shore, at the east shore of Africa, one is called the Woman's Island and one is called the Man's Island, the male island. But actually in real geographic terms, these two islands don't exist. And yeah, now I want to say I hope you liked this short video, which gave you an insight into Marco Polo's travel stories, and whether or not Marco Polo really has been to China doesn't really matter. What matters is that he exists and that his stories exist, and kind of bring information and excitement about these far east places and about Asia into Europe, and that he connects and creates this exchange between Europe and Asia. And I hope you liked this short video. This is it from me, and goodbye.